Welcome to India, the most populated area on Earth. Although usually associated with tea, India started growing coffee over 400 years ago. Legend has it a holy man, Baba Budan, smuggled coffee beans from Yemen. He strapped 7 beans to his stomach and risked a beheading getting them back to India. Baba Budan planted the seeds in what is now known as the Chikamagaluru district. This southwestern region of India is home to many beautiful estates and is where my India coffee trail begins. I'm also heading south to visit the Malabar coast to understand what goes into monsoon Malabar processed coffee. Just arriving in the lush and beautiful forest of the Ottomani estate. It's a Robusta plantation. A group of us have arrived here to meet Putu, the estate's owner.
Putu.
Hi Putu.
Putu Chitapla, yeah?
Toby,
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you.
Every season we are looking up at the sky, wondering when we're going to get the rain. So I chose a spot which has got more rain.
Yeah.
And so here we believe that more rain, more grain. Okay?
Nice.
More rain, more grain. And because of the heavy rain, you get a much more, what you call it, a solid bean, a bigger bean.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We stopped the idea of walking because, as you can see, it's just started to bucket down with rain, which is the great thing about Korg in this plantation because you get so much rain. The rain may have thwarted our tour of the estate, but it does play a very important part in the growth of coffee here. The monsoon season in India starts in June and lasts through till September. Because of the extreme weather conditions, the coffee plants are mostly shade grown and must start their lives in nurseries. Ottomani Estate specialises in pulp natural Robusta. Robusta is popular in India because of its disease resistance and can grow at lower altitudes. It's time to rest up, as tomorrow is going to be a big one. Our next stop was to another estate specialising in shade-grown coffee, Badnekan Estate. This farm dates back to 1946 and the coffee is grown under filtered shade among the tall silver oaks. Badnekan Estate harvests under a strict ripe berry only policy and prides itself on its ecological foundations. Badnekan Estate is another example of the quickly expanding organic coffee trend here in India, with over 260,000 tonnes of organic coffee being produced here every year.
We have been using the vermicompost for the mature coffee plants. We also use it when we plant young coffee. So in the pits, we put vermicompost because the results are very encouraging. After the rains, after the monsoon period, the soil dries up very quickly. So whenever we have got soil, vermicompost or compost put on the soil, it acts as a very good soil moisture absorption and keeps it moist for a longer period of time. Somewhere along the way this went out and we now want to get back to it because basic Indian agricultural systems had these practices.
Well, chemicals and chemical fertilisers, it didn't exist for many hundreds and thousands of years, so it's reversing it again, isn't it? That's fantastic. On our way back, we encountered one of the perils of not using pesticide and keeping this estate eco-friendly.
See those ridges that he shows?
Yeah.
It's an indication that we have a borer in that.
This is the stem borer. Right. The stem borer burrows into the middle of the tree and feeds from the nutrients going to the stem, eventually starving it to death. Go into the field and find the ones with borer, then take the tree out, do they? Yeah, so it's pretty destructive little insect.
And this level has gone up considerably.
He's trying to find some in there for us, is he? So what does it do? It just starts eating up around a tunnel. He's quite big.
Yeah.
The most effective way of dealing with stem borer is to burn the tree before the larvae are able to grow into adults. After a quick change and a short drive, it was time to get to our next destination.
So I've been told that I've got the right gear on because we're in Coorg, and Coorg's different to the rest of India. Here it's not Hindi. The religion is ancestral worshipping, and it'll be only about 1,000 people. Do you think? A small Indian wedding.
As well as being ancestral worshippers, the Coorgs have no written laws when it comes to wedding ceremonies, so everything is being passed on according to oral tradition. We were ushered inside and waited expectantly for our turn to congratulate the bride and groom.
Everyone lines up. First they take their shoes off. They get up to Nitya and Brinda, his wife-to-be. There's a little container of rice. They throw some rice over their heads, feed him a little bit of milk, and then throw into his treasure box, which he takes home, some money or gift of some sort. Congratulate both of them. Then you move on, and we're all now, I think, heading off to lunch and a bit of a dance.
It's now time for us to get started on our trip down to the Malabar coastline.
And we're off again, heading towards the estate. It's been a long day in this seat. Not much going on, apart from us playing the same old songs over and over again. Asking any innocent bystander if we're going in the right direction, and we've got here, believe it or not. Hello! How are you?
Monsoon Malabar coffee dates back to when it was first shipped from the Malabar coast to Europe. Once at sea, the porous coffee sacs would absorb moisture from the sea spray, causing the beans to swell before arrival. Bertie is so passionate about monsooning that his farm is at the foot of the Malabar coastline, helping him emulate the conditions the beans faced on those ships.
You see, you cannot monsoon anywhere in the world except here. The others don't have the same facility that I have. My monsooning is done very close to the sea.
You get a bit of the sea breeze.
Sea breeze and the original conditions, like what they were in the ship.
When it all started.
When it all started, those conditions I get.
So the ships were sailing out?
Sailing out in the Arabian Sea, when there were these monsoonish conditions, the coffee used to absorb the moisture and get bloated up and monsooned.
So by the time the coffee arrived
in
Europe?
In Europe, it was monsoon coffee.
Monsoon.
And they liked it.
They liked it so much they
asked. That's how the monsoon coffee was born.
A-grade Arabica coffee is brought to the huts and placed on the floor at a thickness of 4 inches. The beans stay on the floor for 2 to 3 weeks to absorb moisture. The moisture swells the bean to twice their size. The beans are then raked at least 3 times a day to turn them over and aerate the whole bean. The trick here is to avoid any fermentation, but dry the bean and allow good swelling.
Coffee is a very sensitive product and it absorbs flavours, anything in the atmosphere, especially moisture. But to stop from absorbing the rain, you don't want it to get wet. What they do is cover the hanger in these, again, jute stringy bags, but still they have enough air to pass through them, so it keeps the air flowing inside. But as you can see, every day it's raining here, so there's heaps of moisture.
My Indian coffee trail was almost at an end, but I couldn't leave India without paying my respects to the man, the legend, the cheeky rebel thief himself who brought the bean here all those years ago.
Excuse me, do you know where Baba Budan's tomb is?
Yeah, niche jao.
Can you believe it? We've made it here to meet the one and only legend Baba Budan. And can you believe that I've picked possibly the worst day of a monsoon day in Indian history to come and pay homage to the man? And can you believe that the gates are closed? For a year now the gates have been closed. Now let's get back in the car, shall we?
tasting the coffee here was almost as thrilling as the country itself. India, sometimes colourful, sometimes crazy, but always an adventure.
What's that?